Hello and welcome to the Just Mates podcast, where we aim to destigmatise men not speaking up about mental health. Remember to follow our social pages on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Just Mates Pod. You can listen to and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor and Apple Podcast. All the links are provided in the description. In today's episode, 15th episode might I add, we discuss social media.
Happy days.
Yeah, so I think we just want to kind of delve into the effects that has on our mental health and expectations, and kind of a mixture of things we've spoken about before, really.
Yeah, I think equally for social media, it allows us to be more connected to one another. Like I personally don't know what I would do without it, aside from being out of a job, because it's like it's what I do.
Yeah,
and with you as well, Naf. It does have a lot of positive elements to it. So the communication, like being part of a community, or I don't know, it's easy to reach out to people and businesses and groups. It's really good in that aspect, but there's a lot of negative things about it, which you just said. So
I think as well, as soon as you start to replace physical in like human interaction with online presence, it starts to become a bit detrimental, because then you start to focus too much energy online and on the socials rather than actually making time to physically see someone. And it's just a different vibe, obviously, from online to in person.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what it's like to be an influencer or something. Like having to rely on getting likes and comments and stuff. Like I just couldn't live like that.
No, I think it gets to your head as well, doesn't it? Like the same way a degree could be an achievement to someone, getting 1,000 likes on a picture within 10 minutes could be the equivalent to somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just it's how people weigh up the importance and the value of social media in their life. And I think it can be quite overwhelming when you start to realise that you're getting depressed or angry that you haven't got enough likes on something because you feel like you're not good enough. And you know, when little things like that start to overtake your mind, and it's very overwhelming, because you shouldn't have to rely on social media to bring you happiness.
Yeah, it's have you ever uploaded a photo and then after an hour it only gets like no likes or 1 or 2 likes, and you're like, oh
yeah,
I feel a bit
so I mean, I'm guilty of that. Like I do feel I don't take too much pride in it, but it can get to you. Like you think, oh shit, like do people not care about me, or like am I showing too much, or is the picture I uploaded not good enough, or like do I not look right, or is there some, you start to look for faults and imperfections.
And it just creates anxiety.
Yeah, definitely. And I think on that, basically what we want to kind of say is that we don't want people we think people shouldn't rely solely on social media interaction to feel a part of something or to feel valued.
Yeah, I just think meeting in person is just a completely different experience. Like I have no judgment on people at all for like the whole concept of online relationships and stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm just putting that into perspective for you, because if you're in a relationship with someone and you're in person, it's totally different to that if you were like in a cyber relationship.
Yeah, it's just that sense of tone that you can give off over text. Like I mentioned this to someone else recently, actually. Like you can talk to someone for a long time, like over text and like social media, and whether it's a relationship, friendship, or whatever. But there's never going to be an awkward pause on online, because you can either just reply or you just don't reply. There's never like any awkwardness. Whereas in person, when you have that physical interaction and you feel like you're not getting on with someone, you can instantly know that, because you'll realize that you're taking pauses. There's some like awkward gaps where there's silence and stuff, and you can get a more sense of feeling of where each other's heads at in person. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you see what?
There's something quite inhuman about being on social media.
It's like a robot.
Yeah, that's it. Have you ever just been on a feed and I assume you have, because I do this every day, just like scrolling and like mind-numbing, just looking at things, just completely pointless, not adding any value to your life.
I know, and it becomes so, you become so oblivious to everything around you. Like, even for like things like people posting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, like, statuses, who are we really posting that for? Like, we're not posting that for ourselves. No matter what anyone says, everyone thinks that I don't care what people think. If you're on social media, you're kind of doing it to have an online presence, and you want to be noticed in a sense.
Yeah, personal branding.
Yeah, definitely. Really. And you become a personality on any one of these social media accounts. And sometimes that can then become overwhelming, because you have to live up to that personality you're putting out. So, like, for example, if someone's always putting out positive, like, I don't know, health related, like, tweets and stuff, saying, I can't believe I done a 5K run, or like I went skipping, I done this, I done that. And then the one day they miss a tweet where they don't say that, people think this guy's fallen off, and they're not true to themselves, and you start to lose that kind of value online.
Yeah. It's keeping up the consistency.
Yeah, basically.
Of, like, what you put out. Yeah.
And that can become quite drowning, really, because then you feel like you have to upload a picture just so people know that you're actually doing well. But why does it matter what anyone else thinks? It's about being together yourself in your mind.
I mean, realistically, mate, none of this stuff matters.
No.
Like, if we want to go really deep about it, it doesn't actually matter unless you're actually making money from it.
Yeah.
Then what? I don't want to say what's the point, because social media can be great, because it generates engagement and conversations, which is fantastic. But when you really, really draw down to it, like, what's the point?
Yeah, I think.
Do you get that sense when you're going through and just thinking, so what? What's the like?
I think if it starts to take over your life and you prioritize checking your phone the first thing in the morning, like we've spoken about this before in previous pods, and like checking up on things like social media and checking up on people, stalking people kind of thing, like seeing what they've posted, you start to forget what your own value is to your own life. Like, yeah, you can neglect the important things in your life, like actually checking up on your friends and family in person. If you start to let social media take over your life, like, the first thing you should really do is obviously get yourself together in the morning, shower, whatever your routine is. But if you've got family at home, you should be saying good morning to them in person, rather than texting someone online and like messaging people. I feel like that can be quite detrimental, that your first point of call is your phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it should be. I mean, social media has been great for me. So if I've been feeling down, just look at you and me.
Well, right? What we're doing this on as well.
Yeah, man. Exactly. It can be great like that, but it's just this sense of inadequacy, I think.
Yeah.
Which is kind of generated from, I don't know, feed. Like when you look at people and smiling and doing fun things and stuff, it's all positivity.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get the odd post about someone being sad and stuff, but that generally doesn't really happen with our generation. And then if you think about it, you look at it at the face value and you think, oh, that person's having a great time, why am I not? But behind the scenes, that person could be going through a really tough time.
Yeah, you're so right there as well. Like, I think especially our generation and guys in particular, you'll see it with girls, and I'm not just saying this because I have seen this with girls. They'll openly talk about their emotions online. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm having a shit day," blah blah blah. But guys, they're reluctant to they'll only post positive stuff, and they'll only ever post things that are seen like a good thing for other people. Whereas you'll rarely see people say, "Oh, I'm feeling so depressed," kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's keeping up that persona of being positive. But the minute you start to look at somebody else's life and you start to think that that's it, point blank, they're happy, it becomes too much for yourself, because then you start to compare yourself to that person.
Yeah, I think just matching up to expectations that are completely out of order is what's really difficult.
Yeah. I think it's all about self-value, really. At first, you should first try and be happy with yourself and your own, like how your own life is going, and not kind of compare yourself to others, because everybody's life is different. I always say this, everybody's milestones are different. Some people are achieving things that maybe you aren't, but that doesn't mean you're unsuccessful. And I think this kind of goes on to reading on this link from Help Guide online, and it says about the fear of missing out. Like, when you see these things, positive things of other people, you start to feel like you're missing out and you're not doing the things you should be doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think social media kind of instigates that feeling of, I need to be doing more.
Yeah, and like I said, like, social media is great, right? But I was reading something from Simon Sinek. Sorry to just jump in here, but this is it's really important. So we live in kind of this generation, and with the introduction and this boom of the internet and the social media, everything is instant.
Yeah.
Everything instant gratification, and then you get that essentially a little shot or spike of serotonin, dopamine when you get a like or something.
Yeah.
And there's two things, I mean, we can talk about this, that social media is not great for, and what the internet and all this isn't good for, is job satisfaction and relationship satisfaction, because they're the two things that require a lot of determination, a lot of effort, and a lot of work. And I was reading this article. Is most graduates come out of uni around our age, or maybe slightly younger. They graduate and then they join a job. They join a specific job, and then they leave within 1 or 2 years. And the main reason why is because they feel like they're not making an impact.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're looking for instant results, and that's the thing with social media.
And that's what social media feeds you. It feeds you that by 25 you should be working for yourself, not working 9 till 5. You should be having holidays every year and stuff like that. But in reality, that's just not how life works.
Yeah, it's more. I don't want to sound bad here, but it's a little bit more mundane than that.
Yeah, it is, and you'd be kind of naive to believe otherwise. Really, I think that's actually the biggest thing that social media causes is naivety, because you start to feel like you should be doing more, and that things are that you start to feel like things are. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, and not everything is all happy, sunshine and rainbows, basically. There's a lot more to it. You're going to have some rainy days. And just because social media tells you that you should be making this amount of money by this age, you should be in this kind of job, you should be like going on holiday every other month and stuff, that's just not how life works. It just really isn't. Obviously you can work hard, you can work yourself to that, and there are people out there that are achieving these things, but there's no instant success. It's not overnight. You have to work on yourself.
Well, realistically, you only see it at the surface. It's like it's literally judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, exactly. And like, especially people like, I don't know if you know of Manny Koshbin, Lord Aleem, all of these, like, they're not influencers but business people, and they always like posting pictures of them like living the luxury life kind of thing, and you start to feel like it's just back to the fear of missing out. Like, you start to feel like you're not doing enough, but you cannot compare yourself to the likes of them people. Like, you are not Elon Musk, you are not Jeff Bezos, you're not them people yet. You can work to it, but it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to make a solid plan and overnight you're going to make this amount of money. It's just not how it goes.
No, and yeah, exactly. Like, people are only going to flaunt the positive side of things. Like, you're not, like I said before, people are going to post stuff. So that person could have been borderline suicide, right? But they post a really nice pic of themselves in a restaurant, and you automatically assume they're happy.
Yeah.
So it's really bad in that aspect. I wonder if they'll ever bring out an app that kind of sorts that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so Facebook they got rid of the dislike button. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So, and I swear Instagram made an adjustment. A couple of years. Was it a couple of years? I can't remember.
I think Instagram we're gonna roll out this thing where you can't see the amount of likes someone's got, and it just says it just says liked or something, or it just has the heart symbol. I don't know if they ever flowed that out.
No, they haven't.
But that would change things dramatically, because that would change things for influencers, because influencers thrive off of attention and likes and shares. But if you take that away, what have they got, kind of, without sounding too horrible?
No, they won't have anything, really.
Because what are they going to be achieving? Like, for example, some people become influencers because of their engagement online. So production companies, managers can contact certain random individuals because their engagement is high, and it shows that they've got maybe like 20,000 likes per picture per upload. But you take that away, they're not going to be approached anymore. So realistically, does it even mean anything?
That's a very deep question, mate.
Like, really, why are we thriving off of gaining the attention of random people? Like, I always say this as well in person. Like, I'm quite a jokey person, and I'll be a bit of a clown outside. Like, say if I'm in a shopping centre, I'll always make jokes like, "Oh, is this for free?" kind of thing, like to my mates. And people will probably think like, "Oh, he's being stupid." But my thought process is, I'm not going to see that random person again. So why does it matter what he thinks of me if I'm joking around? Same thing online. You're not going to see these people in real life. So why let what they say and what they might like or not like bother you inside? Because it's all an online reality. It's not real.
Do you want to know my consensus for social media and marketing that I try and follow through?
Go on.
You might have to bleep this. So no one gives a as much as you.
It is so true. The amount of people I've seen that upload a picture, they don't get enough likes, and then I see them re-upload the same picture 2 hours later and it gets loads of likes. It just shows that you're so indulged and reliant on attention that you feel like there's no other means of success.
Mm-hmm.
It's appalling, really. And as much as, and you've said it, like literally every topic that we've just talked about here, social media is one of the best things that probably could have happened to us for the digital era, because of the amount of things we can share, like things happening around the world. We can literally go on Twitter and look in the trending topics and realize that a bomb's blown off in another country without having to be there. Whereas obviously before, we didn't have that immediate interaction with knowing what's going on around the world. So that's the biggest benefit of the world, and sharing your own stories. But as soon as you use it as a means of seeking validation online, that's when it starts to ruin your life, really.
Yeah, and it can be a blessing, but it can also be a hindrance. So, I think I was watching something a while back. So you get us, we get just constant streams of funnels of information, right? And are you familiar with the term desensitized?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So if we keep getting funnels of information, so it's like this on Twitter more than any other thing, because it's essentially a news outlet for negative information. Yeah. I think sometimes positive. I mean, I'm not going to slate them, but if we're used to seeing negative things all day, that's just going to really make us desensitized to the most of the things that happened. I mean, I guarantee, that where did that bomb go off? Was it a bomb or was it just a general explosion?
I can't remember the actual.
But you know the one I'm on about, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, I can't remember where it was for the life of me. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's when I saw that, I don't know what it was, and maybe it's just me. I wasn't really shocked about it. I was a bit like, whoa, that's a big explosion. But it's like, well, there could have been loads of people killed, and it got me really thinking, like, have I seen so much horror and just seen so much shit that to me is not anything big? It's like,
you become immune to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I seriously, and without going political, because we're never getting political on this podcast, but I think that's what Trump's done. He's put out so much stuff about bad things, right? That it's like you can't really even slate him anymore, because there's just constant funnels of negative information.
Right. Like, for example, with Trump, even if tomorrow he came out and said something absurdly like racist and controversial, which he does anyway, regardless, but even if he did that, how many of us would really be surprised or shocked or think he needs to be let go? We just wouldn't care. We'd literally brush it off and think, well, just let him get on with it.
That's Trump, isn't it?
That's Trump. Same with like, I don't know, like even little things like missing people, like the amount of missing people there are in the world, and you hear another story of someone going missing. How many times are you actually surprised that that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you were there in person, actually witnessing it physically, then you'd have a completely different reaction.
Yeah, exactly. But seeing it online and scrolling past something, I'm quite guilty of that, where I should have just shared something, but I've become so immune to thinking that maybe this is just normal. Like, should I just... I don't know. It makes me seem like a bad person, but I don't know. You just become like so unaware that it's happening in real life rather than it just being something that you scroll past.
Yeah, well, obviously, if something's there in person, it's going to have more of an impact on you. I mean, what would have more of an impact on you if you went to an actual Trump rally, or if you actually saw it via, I don't know, a Twitter live stream? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like, you're right. It sort of doesn't become real until you see it in person.
Yeah, and that's the problem, really.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just it can be a ball of negativity. Like I see a lot of people have these phases where they ghost on social media. I don't know if you've heard the term ghosting. Yeah. So just so that listeners know, it just means they kind of deactivate their accounts and basically neglect their social media. And they use that as a mode of like self-evaluation, really, and to gather their thoughts again. So that it could be a case of ghosting for like a day, a week, a month, or it could even be like half a day where they just neglect their phone and stuff. And it just goes to show that people have to go through this ghosting phase to feel normal. Because social media has that much of an impact on people's lives.
Well, ghosting can also mean you're just not speaking to a specific person. Like, you're not responding to anything. Like, I get incredibly anxious, or sometimes even angry when mates just don't respond to me.
Yeah.
And it's like they could they could be really busy, but in my head I'm like, why the freaking monkey are they not responding to me? Like, what are you doing?
And that's a social media expectation telling you that, oh, people aren't always busy, that people should make time for you. But you're right. In reality, we're adults. Like, as friends, we should be able to understand that we don't have to talk to anyone every day to know that they care for us. Like, one of my best mates, I don't talk to him every single day. He's literally my absolute best mate. I would do anything for him and vice versa. But there could be weeks where we haven't spoken. Do you know what I mean? But then within that few weeks where we haven't spoken, I'll see something online where people will be saying, oh, if someone actually really wants to make time for you, they will, this and that. But that's not true, man. Like, we get so many hours in a day, but a lot of the time people are working, they don't get a break, they don't do this, they want some time to themselves where they're not on their phone. Like, everyone has their own reasons.
And I suppose with this goes back to that point of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Which is really dangerous. Like, things take time. Like, worthwhile things take time.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that in certain aspects, social media can just hinder your progress.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you probably know when you're back at uni, I remember going to the library with a couple of people and they just sit on the phone on Facebook. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just, you gotta do work. And it's just,
it's just...
Or because I'm linking this girl, isn't it? like, what? You're going to get a third, mate. Shut up.
No. I think the one of the things we haven't really spoken about is how our social media presence can affect job progression as well, and getting into different jobs, or even graduating in a school or getting into a uni. More times than not, a lot of the time, people report people for their negative attitude and things they've said, controversial things, racist things that people have said, and that can hinder their progress because they might not get into a certain school or the job might let them go. But that just shows you how even jobs and managers and like co-owners of businesses and stuff, they look into your social media. So be careful what you post, and please just be understanding that and sensitive really to other people's feelings.
Yeah, and it's like that thing that Kevin Hart put out, and then he got denied. Was it like 10 years ago? And then he got denied to do the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what his actual tweet was, but it was like 10 years ago. And you hear about this all the time with celebrities, like people just picking up on old tweets. And it's just so stupid, thing is, man.
Whether it's right or wrong what they might have tweeted, everyone matures and everyone's mindset changes. People become a different person. Like, I can tell you now, from the things that I used to post on social media 10 years ago to who I am now, it's completely different. But if you judged me on what you saw 10 years ago, you would have the wrong idea about me.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same, mate. I don't even post a lot now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really, like two a month on Instagram, like, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, depending how I'm feeling. Facebook's all gone downhill. I don't bother with that anymore.
I don't think anyone does unless you're 55 years old.
Yeah.
I think maybe it'd probably be nice for the viewers to feel it from my perspective, but I often post, like, I post them gym stuff up on my story and stuff all the time, and I can hands-on say that's not for validation from others. I do that for myself. Like, I just do that to see my own progression. I like to see like how far I've come. But a lot of people might think, oh, he's just showing off, or he's doing this, or I'm literally not doing it for a single person on there.
Yeah, that's how kind of how I see it, really. Maybe it comes with maturity, because if you think about it, when you're younger, you're seeking validation more or less from groups and peers.
Yeah.
Whereas when you get older, you do tend to become more comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes people aren't comfortable and they do still want that validation. And there's nothing entirely wrong about that. But if you're solely relying on somebody else's opinion of you to be your confidence booster, I think that's where you're going wrong. You need to be happy with yourself first.
Yeah, and it's that point again, mate, where it's like, so what if they liked your photo?
Yeah.
All they had to do was press their phone twice.
Exactly. The amount of times I've liked pictures on my design account, for instance, or even my normal account, and I've not even realised I'm liking people's pictures. I'm just scrolling, tapping. And little do I know that like that I've given someone could have made their day. Do you know what I mean? Like, but to us, it doesn't mean anything, which what I'm trying to say is on the flip side, if you're the person posting something, them likes literally mean nothing. They literally don't mean a single thing.
Yeah, just going back to a point made earlier about just going through it and it almost being mind-numbing. I think the thing that's affected me most with social media, and you can tell me if this is you yourself, is it disrupting my sleep patterns.
Yeah.
So it's, I could be up for an extra hour just on my phone looking through absolute rubbish, going on to, I don't know, TikTok watching crap, and then going on YouTube watching stupid
I think,
videos.
I don't know the reality of this, but I read into this quite a few years ago, actually, on the psychology of the branding of social media. So apparently I read the colours that they use for their branding, like social media, like Facebook and Twitter are blue, aren't they? They're quite neutral colours. They keep you awake, apparently, and apparently the blues that they use and the red for Instagram and the TikTok and stuff, psychologically it keeps you engaged. I've read something like that, and it can have such a psychological effect on you that you become addicted.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to have a look, see if I can find it.
That's true, actually, with the whole. What's that term? And you're a designer, mate. You know, what's that term with colours and emotions? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not typography. It's something.
No. So basically, I'm just reading this off the bat here. I've just found something about how colour can give you emotion. So I'm just going to read this. In studies, colours have been shown to change alpha brainwaves. According to EEG and pulse measuring systems, men and women react differently to colours. When colour is transmitted from the eye to the brain releases a hormone affecting the emotions, mind clarity and energy levels. So basically, in dumb terms, the colours used on social media kind of trigger your energy levels in your brainwave, and it keeps you active, which is why you're always glued on a screen at night on Facebook and Twitter, because of the blue that's used.
Cheeky bastard.
Do you know what I mean, though? You wouldn't have really thought about that, but it is so true.
Do you reckon they did that intentionally?
Yeah, must have done. It's all a trap. Like it says here, colours affect our brains, especially our emotions. Looking at colours light up specific parts of our brain and also the brains of monkeys. So it says here, psychologists have tested to see which colours help us focus and which improve our appetite. So if psychologists can see what can help us focus, I'm sure they've looked into what keeps us engaged on social media.
Blim, I never thought about it like that.
So I'm just trying to. So look, red logos elicit feelings of expertise and self-assurance.
Right. Red is the dominant colour.
Yeah. Pink is a shade of red. People eat more in pink rooms. Pink is so strongly correlated with femininity in our culture that it can be seen as emasculating.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then this is a big one. Blue is soothing and calming, maybe because it occurs so often in nature. Optically, blue suggests distance. The mountains in the distance take on blue hue. Blue research shows that blue is consistently the world's favourite colour. Here. To those who like blue communicates intelligence, communication, trust, efficiency, and so on and so on.
So if I turned up for work one day as a Smurf,
Yeah, well, it's funny because it says blue logos invoke feelings of confidence, success, and reliability, and that's what social media is trying to do for us.
I would have thought red because of dominance, but red can also mean warning, can't it?
Yeah, warning, which is why I think Instagram are like pinky now, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it's mad how much that colour can affect our emotions.
What about black? Because TikTok's black.
Black makes things look smaller and it draws little attention. It's a recessive colour.
Right.
It's associated with darkness, can be scary and seductive. Black is very formal, elegant, and prestigious colour.
Oh, how does that suit TikTok?
I don't know. To those who like it, black communicates sophistication, glamour, efficiency, and substance.
I can see efficiency and substance.
So I can see elegance as well in that. So
yeah, okay.
I think I've just gone off on a tangent there, but I just wanted to show how the psychological side of it is for social media.
I wonder what will be the next breakthrough.
What do you mean?
Next breakthrough app, because obviously TikTok just came out pretty much it came out a couple of years ago, I think, like 1 year ago. Or
no, it came out years ago, but people weren't really active on it.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. Well, like, because Facebook is just monopolizing everything.
Oh, yeah. TikTok was made in 2016.
Yeah, well, that's not too.
No, but can you believe that I've had Snapchat and Instagram since they first started? Instagram was made in 2010. That's not that long ago.
Oh my word!
That's only 10 years, and look at the progression of Instagram over time.
Yeah, it's mental. Like, if you compare it to this is something I quite like to do. You ever go to like people's really, 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 really old photos?
Oh yeah,
yeah. And you go to like 2010, and it's got all the really crappy original filters from Instagram.
Yeah, or they've posted that a lot of people used to post their foods and random objects, didn't they? And they didn't really care so much. And you see like a post from 2012 and it's them wearing a fucking snapback backwards and they're holding like a guitar or something. It's just random stuff where that's when people didn't really care.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, it was more about getting 11 likes than it was about getting loads of likes, because 11 was the breakthrough double digit.
Do you have a threshold for number that you're happy with?
No, I think like the biggest thing is Instagram's algorithm has just up truly.
Right.
So now it's becoming more appealing for influencers, the algorithm, because often more times than not I don't even see all the posts of the people I follow, and apparently the stat shows that when you post a picture, if you don't get interaction and stuff, it's only shown to 10% of your audience. So until people comment, like and share, and you comment and like things, your post is not shown to your full audience.
Yeah, that's Facebook's algorithm, which is 3 to 5% of people that have liked a page. So I don't know if that is, because you might be right, but I see random posts from loads of people. I think it goes with engagement, how much you've engaged with that person and how much they've engaged with
definitely.
you.
And as well, like nowadays, on your Instagram timeline, it shows people you don't even follow now. And instead of actually showing you everyone that you do follow, it's just annoying because often like I'll have posted something, not that it matters, but people will say I didn't even see this post.
There is like a slight movement at the moment. I don't know if you've noticed, like when Instagram first came out, because I remember, although Facebook was the most dominant figure at the time and alongside Twitter, but there's been this movement maybe in the past 5 years where everybody is making their account private.
Yeah, even mine's private.
Yeah, mine is too. I did that as soon as I could, but maybe that's more about people wanting, well, of course it's people wanting privacy, but that shift should tell us something.
I think it's more so about when you're on private, it's more so about when someone actually requests to follow you, you feel kind of like it's an attention gainer. Like now you've got someone interested and they want to see you.
Yeah, it's exclusivity.
Yeah, exactly. So like, whereas if you're not on private, anyone and everyone can follow you, and each follow doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah. I had someone say to me the other day, how have you got so many posts on Instagram? I think I've got something like 500, but I've had it like 2011, 2012. So it's not that hard.
I often go through phases where I archive stuff. I don't delete them, but I just get rid of them off of my page.
Okay.
So, and that's more so because it's stuff that I don't want to show anymore, or maybe it's a picture of me when I was back in school with not really caring about myself and not caring how I look. But I guess social media has done that to me. It's made me think more about what I'm posting and how I'm looking.
Yeah, especially if you're potential future, I don't know, colleagues or something, or
you just want to show yourself in your best view, really. And how often do you see people sharing a post where they look rough? They don't, because why would anyone do that? But that's the reality. Like, we don't always look 10 out of 10 that we show on our Instagrams.
This is what I mean. Maybe there's a gap in the market for, and I don't know, I could be completely wrong, for which is more authentic than Instagram and Facebook. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a middle ground where it's more so about the natural aesthetic rather than the forced one.
Yeah. So maybe there's a gap in the market for that, which, I mean...
Should we call it Just Mates?
Yeah, Just Mates app. So if anyone's an app developer who can do it for free, give me a call.
I see what you mean. I think it's offering that kind of app would offer more acceptance to everyone rather than just influencers.
Yeah, but you got to think at the same time, like, how interesting would it be to see mundane stuff? Yeah.
Like, I think I've seen these accounts, they're parody accounts, obviously, on Instagram or Twitter, where it's the boring posts, and each of their tweets will be, I went to the toilet, or I walked outside the door this morning, or I turned the telly on and Countdown was on. That kind of thing.
No,
but they're funny. But I guess the app that you're talking about that could be developed is kind of the middle ground for that.
Yeah, well, it's just something which kind of fills the gap, which doesn't make people feel like they have to rely on likes, they have to rely on feedback, engagement. Just something which is fun, but you don't feel inclined to post the best version of yourself.
Exactly, and I think we should do that anyway. Like, I guess it comes down to not catfishing, but showing a different persona to yourself than you are in reality. Like, there's so many times where you probably see someone who looks amazing on Instagram, but the process of taking that picture, as soon as they've put the camera down, they're showing all their insecurities because they don't care that a camera's not on them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean,
true.
though?
Yeah.
It's just mental. I think there's so many things we can go on about, but I think the biggest takeaway is to not let social media overpower your life.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done, because it just calls you, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, it does.
Every morning, every evening, every night, especially if you're in our generation, it can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
I think you need to just remember to focus on yourself, though. There is more to world than a digital screen, and you are valued more than what you think you are valued online. Like, there's so many people in real life that care so much more about you than 500 likes that you're getting.
Yeah, remember, no one gives as much as you.
Exactly. Preach to the choir.
It does sound a bit bad and might trigger some people hearing that, but it's actually true. Like, knowing that sets you free a little bit.
It does. It just eases your mind a little that until I'm happy with myself, it doesn't even matter what anyone else thinks. Like right now, I couldn't give a shit what anyone else thinks about me. I really couldn't.
Yeah. That's where you find peace, isn't it?
Yeah, inner peace. Yeah. But anyway, should we cap it off there then?
Yeah, let's cap it.
So hopefully it's given people a bit of an insight as to the fact that social media doesn't really matter that much unless you're sharing positive news. But just don't let it, don't let it take over your life. That's it, really.
Yeah, use it as a communication tool, and just if you can, use it to your benefit. Maybe you want to meet up with mates in person, although that's a bit difficult given the current circumstances. But just use it for. I mean, LinkedIn's great for networking. Just think, maybe long term, me doing this, what's the benefit?
Yeah. Definitely. And just be a bit more aware of what you're posting and be a bit more. And if you are one of them people that's not really realizing that you might be posting negative stuff, reach out to any one of your friends, talk to them about it, because more times than not, strangers are not going to care. You need to speak to people who are close to you in person and actually interact with them and tell them how you feel.
Very true.
But yeah, so anyway, well, this has been Just Mates podcast. I mean, it's number 15. You can follow us on our socials at Just Mates Pod. Like and subscribe, please, to our YouTube. It goes such a long way.
Share our shit.
Yep, pretty much. Can't believe it's been 15 episodes of this, really.
It's 15 weeks, mate. That's ridiculous.
Every single Friday we've released.
It's good. It's good for consistency, eh?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and it's helpful.
I've been Nafees.
I've been Sam.
And this is Just Mates, and we'll see you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.